on the air, Coach. I missed I hit the button and I didn't even say the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Headset. I got with me the head coach of the Ravenwood Raptors, head coach Will Hester. Sorry about that, Coach. I didn't even give you a countdown or anything, but welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Stork. I was worried after the way we played last week, you might have cut me off.
Well, no, I normally, you know what I do, and I by accident, I hit the mouse button, and I see the transition going, and now we're live and on the air, and I didn't get a chance. I was laughing because I did it. But anyway, yeah, you're right. You didn't do too well, man. You didn't do too well. But you had to go over there to their house, but that doesn't account playing over at their field. I can't let you slide on the 56-28 performance. Talk to me a little bit about what happened Friday night, Will.
You can't turn it over 6 times, Stork. If you turn it over 6 times, you deserve to lose. And we didn't play well enough on either side of the ball or in special teams to win the game. And, you know, the thing about playing opponents like that, you get exposed to areas that you need to improve. That's why you want to play a tough schedule so you can learn about your team and get prepared for the region part of your schedule. And NBA did just that to us.
Well, and I mean, you've coached over at Ravenwood, but you went down to Florence, and now you're back and everything. I mean, anything, you still got the Will Hester template, but anything that has changed since you went to Alabama and you come back home, is there anything that you've changed in how you go about what you're doing, Coach?
No, it's very similar. I mean, if anything, you know, we've learned a little bit more from experience, and technology's changed a little bit. We're using a little bit more technology when it comes to the analytics of the game and getting our guys physically prepared to play. And so, you know, in the end, it's all about blocking and tackling, and the NBA blocked and tackled better than we did Friday night. And, you know, sometimes you run into a buzzsaw, and we did, and it's going to be all about how we bounce back this week against BGA.
Philip said that his team kind of didn't do too well in the first half, but he said the second half it kind of cleaned up a little bit. Did you notice a little bit? Because, you know, I do see you put 28 points on the board. So did you clean up a little bit in the second half?
I mean, we had almost 500 yards of total offense during the entirety of the game, you know, but you can't turn it over 6 times. And expect to win against a team like NBA. And they played very clean, had no turnovers, no offensive penalties on their side, and they played a cleaner game than us.
Wow.
We didn't play terribly bad the entire game. They just played better than we did.
Wow. No penalties. Didn't turn the ball over. Yeah, well, you're pretty. That's a recipe for getting beat on Friday night. You can't do that. Well, it doesn't get any easier. Now you've got an out of conference game and or non-conference as they want to say it or whatever. But anyway, it's BGA and they smashed Nolensville in the mouth, 42-32. Coach Rodriguez. I mean, when you got a chance to look at them, what did they like to do against Nolensville that they beat up on them a little bit?
You know, very similar to NBA. A lot of tight ends like to smash mouth football, use play action. You know, very similar defense. You know, Coach Rodriguez is an old NBA boy himself, and running a 3-4 on defense, very similar to what those NBA boys did. Just a little bit like NBA Light or NBA South, basically.
Wow. Well, it's going around, and I hate to ask, Coach, how you doing on your other stuff, on your on the C word? You okay there, or what? How are you?
We had some issues with it back earlier in the summer, but knock on wood, we'll say that we're good with it right now. But you never know what the next 24, 48 hours could bring. That's the one thing about the last 2 years in this virus. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, everything else logistically go like you want to for a first Friday night back in the Volunteer State?
Yeah, it was good. Went over to NBA, got to see their nice new digs, their nice new facilities. Pretty impressive what they've done over there the last few years. And we get to go on the road again this week to BGA, but the reason I was late getting on you today, we got the word and we're having a little meeting about our field being completed, and we now have access to our turf field. Tomorrow's walkthrough will be our first practice on it. So
wow,
we're excited about that.
Wow. You talk about NBA, I'll only say one thing on the air. You know, I went to school. I told Ben Cottle this. I went to school with Joe Davis, and Joe Davis, I went to college with him, and Joe was a special character because you know what? He was the only student that gave $150,000 every year to Eastern Kentucky University. And you know what the halftime, after the band did their halftime performance, you know who kicked field goals from the 40-yard line at halftime during the EKU games? Joe Davis, because he was a former kicker. He was a good guy, man. He was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times with Joe Davis. So anyway, well, good luck Friday night, and we hope you come away with a win, and we sure do hope you stay healthy. And I can't thank you enough for being on the show, Will, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate it, man.
See you, bye.